So in keeping with the absolute scattergun approach of this channel, today we are going to do a little bit of a tech vlog. Slightly different to a normal tech vlog. I want to ask the question, should a cyclist buy the new GoPro Hero 9? This is all about cyclists. This is about you as someone who wants to put a camera on your bike, whether this device, this is the flagship GoPro Hero 9, whether this is value for you. This is the key point for cyclists. The biggest issue with this device is its form factor. The device itself is going to weigh in at around 160 grams, which is a good 30 grams heavier than its predecessor, the Hero 8, and a lot heavier than the Session. Now, there is different specifications across all this, but I'm talking to you as a cyclist, someone who's going to mount this device on your bike. Now, the weight is a thing, but bigger than the weight is this factor itself, the physical girth of it. Now, it measures around 71 millimeters point to point. And the reason I stress this, it matters because go and measure the width of your head tube and go and measure the width of your stem. And the reason I ask you to do that is because if you are spending a lot of money to try and create an aerodynamic front end, you don't want something that is then wider than that front end. I was watching the review of the Canyon Aero Road, and they were talking about spending months and months on increasing the performance of that frame by 7 watts. 7 watts by minuscule changes to the actual frame mold. If you are spending money to try and get the highest end aerodynamic advantage bike, it's a big ask to go and whack this on the front of your bike. All right, so let's put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to do a couple of efforts in CP, 3-lap efforts, with the camera, without the camera, in the kind of standard camera-y position. I'm going to try and ride the same position as much as possible. It's not a wind tunnel. It's a bit of fun, but I reckon this could be interesting. All right, let's start it. And we'll start it with camera on. Camera on. Okay. You are going to go into my back pocket for the second effort. Out of interest, this is the native audio straight through the device for anyone who is interested. All right, well, you won't see anything now because there's no footage. Just imagine this, okay? You get the picture. All right. So does this mean I get to use the excuse I would have won far more races if I wasn't running a camera? Yeah, guys, super surprised. I've done pretty well power-wise to match it. So 3:23 versus 3:25, 3 minute for the 3-lap. And here's the really surprising part. First run, 17:10. Second run, 16:46. Guys, I don't know, like, I'm sure none of it's the camera, but I really tried to mimic the same position. Did the effort only 5 minutes after the first one. I don't think conditions really changed in here much. I think I've just stitched up the sails of any bike cameras. But this is where it starts to get a little confusing because you've all heard me whinge in the past about battery life.
I just don't think it's worthwhile running a bike camera for a road race.
Well, you know the best way to increase the battery life of an action cam is make the battery bigger. And that's exactly what GoPro have done here. In my tests so far, I can record at 1080p at 30 frames a second for almost 3 hours non-stop. That's a game changer. That's exceptional. Another reason for the increased size around this device is what they've created is an actual internal image stabilization. It's unbelievable now how good the image stabilization is on this. But when you're mounting a device to a road bike, 9 times out of 10, the footage is going to be quite stable anyway, just because of the nature of what we're riding on. If you're on a trail, if you're on a gravel bike, if you're on a downhill mountain bike, different ball game. But my point being that, again, in the road space, and especially if you're trying to use this to record some races and performance type stuff, it is sort of overkill. The other reason the device is bigger is, well, that. It has a front screen. I don't believe this device really is an action cam anymore. This device is for cycling vloggers. This is my perfect device. The person who's going to ride around talking to themselves like this, talking straight into the camera, oh my God, I can see myself framed here, I can move it here, I can move it there, I can talk to that person now. That is a fantastic device to do that. It's complete overkill for someone wanting to just put their camera on their bike. What this device has turned into goes now beyond what we really require from a bike camera. I mean, for me now, this is fantastic. Like, to be able to talk to you guys in 5K. I'm just not going to go into all that stuff. Perfect example of where my head is at with this camera.
And this should really help you guys think about the type of uses that you would have for this camera.
At the Masters State Championships weekend, all the vlog footage that you saw was shot on this camera. Me riding around, me walking around town, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic, sensational camera to do that. Did I mount this on my bike for the race?
But I am going to run a camera tomorrow, but I'm going to run the Sony.
No, and I didn't do it because, well, I felt that it was a performance disadvantage. This will also double as a webcam, so you know, we're all doing so much more of it, and you can use this device as your external webcam, giving you a 1080p output, which actually does increase the quality of what you're streaming. And the other feature is live streaming. GoPro are really pushing this. Now, in the latest firmware update on the GoPro Hero 8, you can live stream from it, which we tried to do once or twice. But with the increased battery size, it becomes a far more feasible prospect to do it for over an hour. Now, this is where this whole thing comes in as a bit of a vicious circle, because to stream or to broadcast, you have to run the camera at its correct dimension. How are you going to mount your device like this on the front of your bike? Well, I've got a sort of vloggy solution that I can use, but let's be honest, it's not particularly aero. So it's almost like, you know, you have a win from one side being the increased battery size, giving you the ability to live stream, but the downside being, well, you've got to have it facing up and it's bigger because of the increased battery, and now it's, well, what I'm going to do with it, it's so bloody big. This device, this is going to cost you around 560 Australian dollars with a GoPro subscription. 560 Australian dollars. So what camera would I recommend? Well, I would be really close, and you won't believe me, given some of the reviews I've done in the past, but I just believe people don't care too much about audio. The GoPro Hero 8, I think form factor wise, I think functionality wise, is the best. Its biggest downside is the fact that it doesn't have a removable lens. You really just need some sort of screen protector on that Hero 8 to make sure you don't just destroy the whole device by one scratch. The other question that guys get asked here is, where do these cameras now sit in comparison to your phone? And I think the answer there is, if you're not intending to use this as a bike camera, like mounted to your bike, I do think the phones win. I mean, at this point, like the new iPhone 12 Pro, I mean, yes, it's more expensive than this, but it's got Dolby Vision. Like, what the hell? On a freaking phone. Compare, like, and also throw in the IP resistance, you know, crash proof, smash proof stuff that they're all coming out with now. You know, if you're just using this to shoot some content on the bike, I do think the phone wins at this point. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. Again, I love doing tech stuff, so please do make sure you let us know what kind of stuff you'd like to see me do in the future. Thanks to Digital Camera Warehouse on Canterbury Road for lending me this device to then diss it. Well, no, I haven't dissed it. I've just basically said that for us, it's not the perfect device. For me, it is. really.
Between you and me, I'd love to turn this into a tech channel. No, cycling tech channel, there you go. But thank you so much for watching. Check out the recent videos that we've been doing. Big shout to Ben Carmen in Queensland. Just because I can shout people. Alrighty, see you guys. What do we think about 5K Chris? See the freckles? See the wrinkles? Oh yeah, they're all there. They're all there. In their unhidden glory. 5K content, the future. First 5K content on the channel. And isn't it worth the wait?